On the 30th of July 1945, in the closing days of World War II, the USS Indianapolis, a United States Navy cruiser, faced a horrific tragedy that will be forever etched in maritime history. Having delivered components for an atomic bomb that would be used on Hiroshima, the Indianapolis sailed from Guam without an escort to meet the battleship the USS Idaho in the Leyte Gulf of the Philippines, and that was to prepare for an invasion of Japan. However, the USS Indianapolis was to be torpedoed by a Japanese submarine, and what was to follow was an ordeal of unimaginable terror. This is the story of the worst shark attack ever in history. After successfully completing its top mission of delivering the atomic bomb components to a small island, the USS Indianapolis began its journey to meet the USS Idaho in the Philippines. However, fate had a different plan in store when two torpedoes from the Japanese submarine I-58 led to a catastrophic explosion that broke the Indianapolis into two. On board were around 1,196 crew and 900 managed to abandon ship before it sank. However, due to communication failures and bureaucratic errors, the ship's distress signals went unnoticed, leaving the survivors stranded at sea. For 4 long days, the sailors clung to life rafts and debris, battling exhaustion, dehydration, and the scorching sun. As if the dire circumstances weren't enough, the survivors had to confront another menace lurking beneath the surface: sharks. In the shark-infested waters of the Pacific, the sailors soon became the targets for hungry predators. The sound of the ship's explosions, together with the scent of blood and the helpless thrashing of the wounded, attracted numerous sharks to the area. On the first night of the sinking, the sharks focused on the sailors that were already dead, but the survivors thrashing about in the water attracted more and more sharks to the area, and soon the sharks turned the attention towards the surviving sailors. Those that were bleeding were targeted first, and it's reported that sailors desperately tried to move themselves away from anyone that had an open wound. The relentless attacks from the sharks continued, coupled with the blistering heat and the dehydration and trying to stay afloat in the water. So when a shipmate died, the sailors had to push the body away, hoping that would tempt the sharks away from themselves. Understandably, many survivors were paralysed with fear. It's unimaginable the trauma they went through over the days that followed, living with the constant fear of shark attack, testing their will to survive in these dire conditions. With the excruciating thirst, delirium and relentless presence of sharks, many souls were lost to dehydration and exhaustion, as well as these shark attacks. It wasn't until 4 days later did a Navy aircraft spotted the survivors in the water, providing a glimmer of hope. Rescue efforts were immediately launched, and over the next few days the remaining survivors were plucked from the water. Tragically, out of the nearly 900 sailors that had initially survived the sinking, only 316 were ultimately rescued. The sinking of the USS Indianapolis and the subsequent shark attacks raised several critical issues about naval communication protocols, rescue procedures, and survival training. The incident prompted reforms in the Navy, leading to improvements in distress signal systems, ensuring prompt responses to emergencies at sea. The survivors of the USS Indianapolis faced immense physical and psychological trauma. Their first-hand accounts of the shark attacks played a crucial role in shedding light on the dangers of shark-infested waters and informing subsequent research on shark behaviour and survival strategies. This tragic event reinforced the importance of preparedness, training and communication during naval operations and sparked a greater understanding of the resilience of human beings in the face of extreme adversity.